If your legs feel cold, heavy, or numb, your doctor may be missing something critical. Poor blood circulation in the legs is one of the most underdiagnosed and undertreated conditions in seniors over 60. Most patients are told to walk more, lose weight, or simply live with it. And while lifestyle changes matter, there is a piece of this puzzle that almost no one is talking about. Two specific vitamins, two deficiencies that are so common in seniors over 60 that researchers now consider them an epidemic. And when these two vitamins are missing from your body, your blood vessels literally cannot do their job. They stiffen, they narrow, they lose the ability to dilate and push blood efficiently down through your legs and back up to your heart. The result is exactly what you are feeling: the heaviness, the coldness, the swelling, the cramps at night that wake you up, the wounds on your feet and lower legs that take weeks to heal when they should take days. My name is Dr. Michael Kent. I have treated thousands of seniors with exactly these symptoms. And today I am going to show you the two vitamins that the research says can genuinely restore blood flow in your legs, and the exact dosage and timing that makes them work. Do not skip this video. What I am about to tell you could protect your legs and your independence for years to come. Before I name these two vitamins, I want to make sure you understand exactly what is happening inside your blood vessels when circulation fails. Because once you understand the mechanism, everything I'm going to tell you will make complete sense. Your leg veins and arteries are lined with a single layer of cells called the endothelium. This thin layer is not just a passive wall, it is an active, living tissue that produces compounds that regulate blood vessel tone, prevent clotting, control inflammation, and manage how efficiently blood flows through the vessel. The most important of these compounds is nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas that your endothelial cells produce continuously. When nitric oxide is released into the vessel wall, it causes the smooth muscles surrounding the vessel to relax, the vessel widens, blood pressure drops locally, and blood flows through more freely. This process happens thousands of times per day throughout your circulatory system. It is the mechanism by which your body automatically adjusts blood flow to meet the needs of different tissues at different times. After 60, endothelial nitric oxide production declines significantly. The endothelial cells become less efficient. They produce less nitric oxide in response to the same stimuli that would have triggered robust production at age 40. Blood vessels become stiffer and less responsive. And the legs, which are furthest from the heart and must work against gravity to return blood upward, are the first place where this reduced nitric oxide production shows up as symptoms. This is the foundation of poor leg circulation in seniors. Not the whole story, but the central mechanism that drives most of the symptoms seniors describe. And this is exactly where the two vitamins come in, because both of them, through completely different pathways, directly support endothelial function and nitric oxide production in aging blood vessels. The first vitamin is vitamin D3. I know, you have heard about vitamin D before. You have probably been told to take it for your bones, maybe for your immune system. But what most seniors, and frankly many doctors, do not fully appreciate is the profound role vitamin D plays specifically in cardiovascular and circulatory health. Here is the mechanism. Vitamin D receptors are found in abundance on endothelial cells, the very cells lining your blood vessels that produce nitric oxide. When vitamin D binds to these receptors, it upregulates the enzyme called endothelial nitric oxide synthase, or eNOS. This is the enzyme responsible for producing nitric oxide inside endothelial cells. More vitamin D binding to endothelial receptors means more eNOS activity, means more nitric oxide production, means better blood vessel dilation and improved circulation. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that vitamin D deficiency was independently associated with peripheral arterial disease, the clinical condition characterized by poor blood flow to the legs, with deficient individuals having a significantly higher risk compared to those with adequate vitamin D levels. Another study published in Hypertension found that vitamin D supplementation in deficient adults produced measurable improvements in endothelial function and reduced arterial stiffness within just 8 weeks. But here is the problem that makes this deficiency so dangerous and so widespread. Vitamin D is produced in your skin when ultraviolet B radiation from sunlight strikes cholesterol molecules just beneath the skin surface. After 60, two things happen that dramatically reduce your ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight. First, the concentration of the cholesterol precursor in your skin declines with age, meaning the same amount of sun exposure produces significantly less vitamin D than it would have 20 years ago. Second, most seniors spend significantly less time outdoors than they did when they were younger. The combination of reduced skin synthesis and reduced sun exposure means that the vast majority of seniors over 60 are vitamin D deficient, many severely so, without any obvious symptoms until the downstream effects become apparent. The recommended dietary allowance for vitamin D is outdated and far too low for seniors. Most vitamin D researchers and clinicians working in this area now recommend between 2,000 and 4,000 international units of vitamin D3 per day for adults over 60, not the 600 to 800 IU that appears on most nutrition labels, and vitamin D3 specifically, not D2, which is less bioavailable and less effective at raising blood levels. There is one more critical detail about vitamin D3 that most people miss. It is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning it requires dietary fat to be absorbed from your gut into your bloodstream. Taking vitamin D3 on an empty stomach or with a fat-free meal means a significant portion of what you swallow is never absorbed. Always take your vitamin D3 with a meal that contains fat, eggs, avocado, olive oil, nuts, fatty fish. That one change alone can dramatically improve how much vitamin D you are actually getting from the supplement you are already taking. The second vitamin is vitamin K2, and this is the one that genuinely surprises most people, including many healthcare providers. Vitamin K2 is not the same as vitamin K1, the vitamin found in leafy green vegetables that is associated with blood clotting. Vitamin K2 is a completely different compound with a completely different set of functions in the body, found in very different food sources. And its role in cardiovascular and circulatory health is one of the most important and underappreciated stories in nutritional science over the last 2 decades. Here is what vitamin K2 does that is directly relevant to blood flow in your legs. Your arteries and blood vessels have a natural tendency, particularly as you age, to accumulate calcium deposits in their walls. This process is called vascular calcification. When calcium builds up in arterial walls, those walls become rigid and stiff, exactly like a pipe developing scale buildup on its interior. Stiff arterial walls cannot dilate properly in response to nitric oxide. They cannot accommodate the pressure changes that come with each heartbeat. Blood flow becomes turbulent and inefficient, and the downstream tissues, including the tissues of your legs, receive less blood than they need. Vascular calcification is one of the primary reasons why leg circulation worsens with age. And it is also one of the primary reasons why high blood pressure becomes so common after 60. Stiff vessels require more pressure to push blood through them. Vitamin K2 activates a protein called matrix GLA protein, or MGP, which is the body's primary defense against vascular calcification. MGP is produced by the smooth muscle cells in arterial walls specifically to prevent calcium from depositing there. But MGP can only do its job when it is activated by vitamin K2. Without adequate vitamin K2, MGP remains in its inactive form, and vascular calcification proceeds unchecked. A landmark study published in the Journal of Nutrition followed over 4,000 Dutch adults for 10 years and found that those with the highest intake of vitamin K2 had a 57% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease and significantly less aortic calcification compared to those with the lowest intake. A separate study published in Thrombosis and Hemostasis found that vitamin K2 supplementation in postmenopausal women reduced the progression of arterial stiffness over 3 years, suggesting it can actually slow the hardening of blood vessels that underlies poor leg circulation. The best dietary sources of vitamin K2 are natto, a fermented soybean product that is the single richest food source of K2 on the planet, aged hard cheeses like Gouda and Brie, and egg yolks from pasture-raised chickens. If dietary sources are not practical for you, supplemental vitamin K2 in the MK7 form is the most bioavailable and longest-acting option. 100 to 200 micrograms of MK7 daily is the range most commonly studied in clinical research. Now, and this is critically important, I need to address something about taking vitamin K2 that could affect some of you directly. Vitamin K2 interacts with blood-thinning medications, particularly warfarin, also known as Coumadin. If you are currently taking warfarin or any other anticoagulant medication, you must speak with your doctor before adding vitamin K2 to your routine. This is not optional. Vitamin K compounds affect coagulation pathways and can alter the effectiveness of anticoagulant therapy in ways that require medical monitoring. Please do not skip this step. For everyone who is not on anticoagulant medications, vitamin K2 MK7 is exceptionally safe, has no known toxicity at supplemental doses, and can be taken alongside your vitamin D3, which brings me to the most important practical point of this entire video. Vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 work synergistically. They should be taken together. Here is why this matters so much. Vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption from your gut into your bloodstream. This is one of the reasons it is so beneficial for bone health. It ensures that dietary calcium is available to the body, but increased calcium in the bloodstream also means more calcium available to deposit in soft tissues, including arterial walls. Vitamin K2 ensures that this calcium is directed to the bones where it belongs and actively prevented from depositing in blood vessel walls. In other words, vitamin D3 mobilizes calcium and vitamin K2 routes it correctly. Taking one without the other is less effective and potentially counterproductive for vascular health. Taking them together creates a synergistic effect on bone strength, arterial flexibility, and blood flow that neither vitamin produces as effectively on its own. The protocol I recommend for my senior patients is this: vitamin D3 at 2,000 to 4,000 international units per day, taken with a fat-containing meal. Vitamin K2 MK7 at 100 to 200 micrograms per day, taken at the same time. Both are available widely, both are inexpensive, and both have outstanding safety profiles at these doses for people not on anticoagulant medications. Give this combination 3 months. That is the time frame in which most of the clinical research showing measurable improvements in endothelial function and arterial flexibility was conducted. 3 months of consistent daily use. Then pay attention to your legs, the heaviness, the coldness, the nighttime cramping, the swelling. These are the symptoms most likely to improve as circulation gradually restores. I also want to give you 3 additional lifestyle practices that work directly alongside these 2 vitamins, and that will accelerate your results significantly. The first is calf raises. I mentioned this in my morning routine video, and I will say it again here because it is that important. Your calf muscles are the second heart of your circulatory system. When they contract, they squeeze the veins in your lower legs and actively pump blood back up toward the heart against gravity. 10 to 20 slow calf raises twice a day, holding a counter or chair for balance, directly activates this pumping mechanism and improves venous return from your legs immediately. No equipment, no gym. 2 minutes twice a day. The second is hydration. Every time you are mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes more viscous, thicker, and flows less efficiently through small vessels. For seniors with already compromised leg circulation, dehydration makes every symptom worse. 64 ounces of water daily on a schedule, not waiting to feel thirsty because thirst is unreliable after 60. The third is avoiding prolonged sitting. Every hour of uninterrupted sitting causes measurable deterioration in lower leg blood flow. Set a timer on your phone. Every 45 to 60 minutes, stand up and walk for 2 to 3 minutes, even just around the room. This simple habit alone has been shown in research to significantly improve leg circulation metrics over the course of a day. Let me bring everything together for you. Poor blood flow in the legs after 60 is primarily driven by declining nitric oxide production and progressive vascular calcification, both of which have direct nutritional causes. Vitamin D3 restores endothelial function and nitric oxide production by activating the eNOS enzyme in blood vessel walls. Vitamin K2 MK7 prevents and reverses vascular calcification by activating matrix GLA protein to keep calcium out of arterial walls. Together, they address the 2 primary mechanisms underlying poor leg circulation in aging in a way that no lifestyle change alone can fully achieve. Take them together with a fat-containing meal consistently for 3 months. Add calf raises, adequate hydration, and regular movement breaks throughout the day. And if you are on any blood-thinning medication, speak with your doctor before starting vitamin K2. Your legs have been sending you signals: heavy, cold, swollen, cramping. These are not inevitable features of aging. They are correctable problems with correctable causes. And now you know exactly what to do about them. Please leave a comment below and tell me, are you currently experiencing any of these leg circulation symptoms? And have you ever been told about vitamin K2 by your doctor? I read every comment and reply to as many as I can. If this video helped you, please share it with someone over 60 who is dealing with leg pain, swelling, or poor circulation. You may genuinely be helping them avoid a serious health event down the road. Subscribe to this channel for weekly senior health videos that give you the real information your health deserves, the kind that empowers you to take action rather than just wait for things to get worse. I am Dr. Michael Kent. Thank you for watching. Take care of your legs because they carry you through everything that matters. I will see you in the next one.